Hey Nicole,
Oh, hey Janice.
how's your weekend?
Do I tell her I woke up at 4 a.m. to my husband snoring, only to realize it was actually me who was snoring, that I don't have a husband, and I spent the rest of the night contemplating the direction of my life? Good. How was yours? Good morning! Look at that! It is about 7 a.m. here in Sydney. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming along again. Thank you. If you are new, welcome! I am an impossibly tall Aussie who likes to help people reach the top shelves. Currently, I am living in Sydney, which is being slowly flooded. Sorry if you don't like heights. Warning. And I enjoy finding all sorts of ways to laugh at life. Welcome to my channel. Just wanted to give everybody a slightly different viewpoint today, and I'm probably going to regret it because I don't know if the wind is going to... As you might have noticed, if you've been following me for a while, my videos that I create tend to be of a let's try and carve out a better life for ourselves with an educational bent. But today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. It's a vlog, wandering through Sydney, just random shots of wandering around as I speak about a new topic, more so the questioning that I am having in my life right now, and I want to document this journey with you because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's questioning the whole spend your life working to death so that when you retire you can start living your life. It would mean spending your life working yourself to death, become a zombie to come back and retire. That was a terrible analogy. One thing that I've noticed is if you don't take pause to stop and look at, observe and question the habits and the beliefs that you currently have, it's very easy to slip into a default mode of living that might produce the kind of life you don't want to have. I think this is getting a little bit too crazy windy now. Great idea! Stand out on a balcony where I'm just gonna move it somewhere else. I enjoy sharing the progress and the process and transparency because we're all probably related anyway and you don't lie to family. Wow, Freud leaking all over YouTube. So come along for a stroll with me around Sydney and you'll realize that I really don't get out myself. I'm an introvert and a hermit, so as you can imagine, that makes for an incredibly exciting social life. Half of my life has been spent with that conditioning of severely delayed gratification. Basically, if you work really hard, head down, tail up every day, that eventually at some point in your life, you'll be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But I'm starting to realize that there is a certain set point of delayed gratification that can be set too far into the future. I might be a little late to this realization, but that's life and I'm learning now. And note to self, do not be judgy. Let he who has no sin pass the first stone. Oh, motherfucker. Don't be alarmed, I'm not going to decide to do nothing with myself and lay around like a loaf of bread getting crusty. I love creating things and sharing stories. Hello, YouTube channel. So at the moment I am documenting my journey in changing that crunchy belief about waiting until you hit retirement to actually live your life. Then we can find out what actually works and what actually helps, and maybe shifting the balance, tear the concept apart like hyenas in the Serengeti. Like most of us, work dominates our lives and I'm no exception to this. For the last 10 years I've been working a full-time job. Sometimes that requires 76 hours a week, plus a part-time job, plus volunteer work. So it's a little bit full on, and I've been doing what I can to be as financially independent as possible because my goal is to build and have a little nest egg and also have some little eggs now. That sounds, why? I'm not a bird. But sometimes, wow, it just feels like such a long haul. You're sticking to a tight budget and you're not taking holidays and you don't go out, and the goal is that you won't have to do that for too long. But then when it starts hitting up 10 years towards 20 years, and then you wonder how long until I can live my, and then there's a burnout to freedom ratio, and I think I haven't quite struck that yet. Waiting until retirement, until you live the life according to your terms, seems a little bit late. Having chatted with some very financially abundant businessmen regarding their retirement, they were in such a rush to retire that they took on those extra shifts. They worked the weekends, they barely saw their family. Their time with their friends and their family were on a timer. I think, like a lot of people, you really want to take a break, but then after about 4 weeks, you get bored and you don't know what to do with yourself. How many rounds of golf can you play every week with people who you assume will have as much time and as money as you do? So that narrows the field as well. But how many games can you play before you think, I'd like to do something else now? Boredom and loneliness might actually be a common experience in this scenario. I don't know from my personal experience yet. It's just I'm asking the questions of people who have gone on before me, and I find it really interesting. I actually find it really fun to interview older people. They're just so much fun to talk to. For so many, it seemed like most of their life revolved around work. They never really took the time to develop the deep friendships or relationships or explore other areas of life. It's easy to see how we can get into the pattern of just knowing how to work, because that's what we've been doing our whole life, and we've been conditioned to become a work person. And for many, work has defined who they are. Some have gone back to work. I've seen many people come back from retirement as a consultant, and they've got so much more life and zest for the work that they do as a consultant, because they are no longer in the trenches every day for decades. They come in and it's actually, I think they really enjoy it. Actually, I've got to tell you this. I think a lot of the people who come back as consultants are there for the social, because man, they love to talk. Like, I'm there trying to do my job and they're like trying to share recipes with me, you know, like, yeah, huh, what? But I love that because it indicates the various needs at points in our lives, and they're so much more freed up. But it makes you wonder, do we have to wait until that point to be so exuberant about life? It seems to make no sense to endure a meaningless job in the pursuit of a goal when often during that whole journey, which is decades of your life, that you're foregoing joy, your health, having time with people that matter to you. Often I found myself in this trap as well, where I see everything as a means to an end. It's easy to get irritable at people who feel like just annoying irritations, speed bumps on the way to your goal. I don't want to be that way. What if you get to that finish line of retirement and realize there was no destination? Now, here's the fun part of what I've discovered is, I believe, is the answer. But my brain told me to get wild and read some books. My brain also says other things to me to try and help me out. Yeah, I get all my underwear from here, like thermals, not. So I've been listening to and reading a lot of books and podcasts and YouTube videos from very highly successful people. That also includes cancer surgeons who have noticed patterns in their patients once they've been diagnosed in regards to their attitude about life. Another example, Tim Ferriss recommends you take mini retirements throughout your life rather than just one big one at the end. Starting to really like that idea. So here is my 2-sentence summary of where I believe we can start. And I'm going to start. I am starting. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. Plan a week you would like to have and schedule it out. What does your ideal week look like? But you have to schedule your week in a way where your schedule becomes a freeing tool for increasing the quality of life and not a tyrannical torture device. Sometimes the word schedule has a bit of a military vibe and schedule, do it, classroom, teacher, oh my gosh, like trauma. But here I'm using the term to allow ourselves an opportunity to put ourselves first and actually be kind to ourselves. Even just the idea of what would I like to do this week? It's so freeing. What you want to do, when you want to do it, with whoever or nobody that you want to do it with. And how about this one? You have all the time that you want. How great is that? Doesn't that just feel delicious? I'm going to watch these birds because I have all the time I want. Taking the time to notice the little things in the city, like the animals, no, not the people, the wildlife in the city. I never stopped to give myself the opportunity of just observing, enjoying, not watching the clock, having that feeling of ease. What do you want to explore today? What do you want to learn? One thing I am realizing is if you don't have a roadmap of how you want your life to look and how you want your life to be structured, It's very easy to blame your job or life for keeping you in a cage when you haven't actually laid out any steps for what you would do with your time if it wasn't for that job or life. And it's not so easily done. It sounds easy, like, oh, I'll just travel for a week. Trick. I've found there is magic in the detail. It's not good to use general words or phrases. So something like, I'm going to travel on my week. Okay, we need to get really specific here. Where do you want to travel to? How many countries? How long are you going to stay in each country or city that you want to visit? What will you be doing? Is it a Kentucky tour? Are you going to have people with you? Do they also work? Are they on a timer? Do you have to take care of them? How many days or hours will you spend doing each activity in each place? See, there's magic in the detail. I love to create, so ideally, I would spend at least 4 hours a week creating new scripts and new content and new topic ideas. That's really fun to me. I love to cook, so I would do more cooking. I love cooking roasts. I love experimenting. I love learning about new meals from around the world. I just need to find people to feed. I would also get outside more. More nature, less walls, she says, inside a walled apartment. So here's what my list is looking like. I'm going to share it with you, and then you can hold me accountable. If I don't deliver something on this, you know that I've defaulted back into my life of just work. So on my list, it's really good to just throw your brain onto a page. It doesn't matter if an idea or a concept is good or bad, don't judge it, just chuck it on there. And then find the ones that really excite the most. So for me, learn to sail, free diving, hike snow-capped mountains in my undies. I'll probably wear a little bit more than that, but ice baths and health-changing breathing techniques. These are on my radar. These are the things I'm thinking, see, they're all health-related. Interesting. Our lives are so different. We are so different as people, but we have a lot in common. So it's finding that common ground, uplifting each other, and I really want to support you in discovering maybe there's some of the things that you want to do in your week, and that's exciting. So if you are comfortable, feel free to drop some comments about your ideas of what an ideal, fantastic week would look like to you. There's not just one way to live life, so let me know also if you've retired or if you've come back from retirement or what your retirement plan is, or maybe there's some ideas that you have about how we can all incorporate a little bit more balance into our life. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all being here with me, subscribing and liking and leaving comments. So until next time, please take care of yourself.